And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Guys, in today's video, of course, we are going to be going over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. That includes a big bit on Luis Diaz. However, of course, we are back in action tonight, taking on Sparta Prague at Anfield in the Europa League round of 16 second leg for a place in the quarter-finals, of course. And whilst we are 5-1 up on aggregate, and this game does seem a dead rubber, it does pose to be quite convenient for us. It obviously allows some players that have been, stretched over the last couple of weeks whilst we've been in this injury crisis to have a bit of a rest ahead of that game against Manchester United. And it also allows other players that haven't really been able to make the impact so far this season get a chance. So a game I'm still looking forward to watching. Any game that involves Liverpool, I always want to watch and want to see what happens and what goes down. But yeah, I'm glad that we can maybe rest some key players ahead of that game against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Now, ahead of the clash, of course, there was some good news with regards to Ryan Gravenberch and that he is now back in training. And then, of course, there is news with regards to Mo Salah that he is ready for a full 90 minutes. Of course, did make an impact off the bench against Manchester City. However, now it does seem as though he is ready, he can play a full 90, and it's also good to see Ryan Gravenberch has returned back to training as well. So the injury crisis seems we're out of the worst of it at this moment in time, and once we get through this game, once we get through the game against Manchester United, we've got a literal 2-week stopgap which will allow players that are already out to return ready for the run-in, which is going to be a very, very pivotal and important moment for this football club and what we go on to win come the end of May. So yeah, happy with that. And actually, I can't believe for once, I'm actually kind of happy. I'm looking forward to an international break just because it allows us to get some players back beyond that. But yes, our next target, of course, is Sparta Prague. And as stated, whilst again, we are 5-1 up. I have no doubt that we are going to progress through to the next round. Sparta Prague, it's their big moment. They have nothing to lose, if you like. But they are off the back of another defeat. At the weekend, they lost 4-0 to Victoria Pleasant. Yes, they were pumped by them. And despite still sitting top of the table, they are going through a bit of a iffy patch of form. 2 wins from their last 5 games, 2 of the last games obviously being defeats. So aside that maybe are struggling for a bit of confidence, aside that aren't getting the results that they somewhat deemed, obviously Liverpool's different, but certainly domestically losing to Victoria Pleasant that much just goes to show that they are struggling ever so slightly. Now, whilst that is very interesting, and whilst this week there has been a lot of stuff come out with regards to the future of this football club, there has been a bit with regards to Luis Diaz. Now, Luis Diaz has been a fantastic player for Liverpool so far this season. In fact, since he came into the club back in January 2022, he's been absolutely amazing for this football club. And despite a few injuries here and there, and, we've seen that against Manchester City, what he's capable of doing, and he shows that on a consistent period. Maybe something he needs to try and work on is his finishing, but still a very young player. He's a player that the fans adore. I adore him. And as I said, he plays and gives his all for this football club. And obviously some big news has emerged over the last 24 hours, and that is that Paris Saint-Germain are eyeing up Luis Diaz as a potential Kylian Mbappe replacement. Of course, there is a lot of news and a lot of substance around Kylian Mbappe potentially leaving Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and that the Qataris have came out and stated basically if this was to happen that they do have a contingency plan in place and they will be spending big money this summer in a rebuild. And one of those players that they would need to find is a forward. And of course, Luis Diaz has already been early linked to join Paris Saint-Germain's new revolution. Other than that, of course, as well, reports out in Colombia stated that Diaz's agent met with the Barcelona president, Joan Laporta. And as stated, there is, whilst we're getting towards the summer transfer window, there is a lot of noise around Luis Diaz on whether he will go or will he not go. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't really believe these reports too much, despite them coming from fairly reputable sources. course, as I said, I don't bring BS to the table. I just don't see Liverpool parting ways with Luis Diaz unless it was for a considerable fee. And Fabrizio Romano backed up on a recent podcast and stated that Diaz's full focus is on Liverpool. He says, I don't think it's possible for Barcelona to go and pay that kind of crazy fee that would be required for Diaz. But with PSG, it is unlikely that Liverpool would sell in general, unless, as stated, it was a huge fee and the player was making it strong that he wanted to move away. However, it is possible that his agent or someone behind the scenes is putting out feelers to make Liverpool offer a potential pay rise. There's a lot of tactics in behind the scenes, and as stated, I do believe that these rumours that PSG, of course, are interested. Why wouldn't they be? He's a fantastic player. And same again with Barcelona, that, agents can play that to try and get the wages up. We don't know the kind of game that's happening behind the scenes, but I do believe Luis Diaz will be here come the start of this new Liverpool revolution, and I have zero doubts that he will be going to Paris Saint-Germain. Why would you want to go to Paris Saint-Germain anyway, except from the bag, of course, and I don't think he would be going to Barcelona either. So for me, no, but it is what it is. Now, in other news, guys, it's also stated, I've been talking about this for quite a long time now, but just another update stating that Liverpool are still working on trying to offer Virgil van Dijk a brand new contract. Now, there is a lot of players or key players that are coming out to contract, not this summer, obviously Thiago Matip are, but next summer, 2025. Those players being Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, and of course Virgil van Dijk. And as I stated, Trent isn't a problem. That's ongoing negotiations since October that the club have been, speaking about a deal. Liverpool aren't sweated over those terms. They do believe Trent will stay. I do believe Trent will stay as a Liverpool fan. He's one of us. He's always going to stay. Mo Salah is another player that they want to try and tie down for longer terms as well, despite this whole Saudi stuff in the background. However, Virgil van Dijk, it does seem as though that Liverpool have started to speak to the captain on improving his terms and extending his stay at Anfield. And this season he's shown what he's capable of doing, despite sometimes people saying that he's finished last year when we were having a poor time due to our midfield. He was left exposed a lot. But this season he showed that he's probably one of the best centre-backs in the world, definitely the best in the Premier League. And as stated, Liverpool do want to keep him at the football club for the long-term future. And as stated, they are in talks and do have the intentions to land Virgil van Dijk on improved terms financially, and then of course extend his stay at Anfield. But Liverpool fans, that's all I've already got for you today. Do let me know your score predictions for the game against Sparta Prague, and let me know your thoughts with regards to Luis Diaz. Is there a price that you'd stick on his head, and how much would it be? Let me know down there in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.